ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host with the most, as always, Francois878, and today we're going to be talking about the Arbiters of Hexus Syndicate melee weapon, the Telos Boltace. Now, this weapon is very similar to all of the rest of the Syndicate melees in that instead of having the traditional Syndicate AoE proc effect, this weapon has a unique passive ability, and that is, instead of a more traditional slide attack, these weapons actually perform a 360 spin attack when you initiate a slide attack for these particular melee weapons. The slide attack has a range of 10 meters on the base. Any enemy that is hit by the slide attack does have a forced / proc applied to them, and the sliding attacks do not count towards your melee combo multiplier, and they are not affected by your melee combo multiplier, even if you have a melee combo accrued with regular melee strikes. Now, this weapon is a lot of fun to use. I have never had so much fun sliding around a map, just annihilating just hordes of Grineer or Corpus or whatever I happen to be fighting. It is not the most practical weapon in the game, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely got a lot of it's a unique weapon for sure. Now, as far as the weapon itself goes versus the vanilla Boltace, we're going to go through some of the base stats here. Damage is actually the same. The Telos Boltace does have a little bit more puncture damage versus the vanilla version, but it has a little bit less impact, so it balances out. Attack speed for the Telos Boltace is a little higher at 1.08 versus 0.917. Attack speed is very important for this weapon because the higher your attack speed, the faster you can initiate another slide attack, so it's very, very important. Status chance is the same at 25%. Crit chance is actually double for the Telos Boltace at 10%, and crit damage is also slightly buffed at 2 times crit multiplier instead of a 1.5 on the vanilla. Now, the builds that I'm about to show you for this weapon are kind of unique and interesting. They're not necessarily very meta. Gemini Cross for your stance, of course. Primed Pressure Point. Primed Reach is very important. The spin attacks are affected by range mods. The base range is 10 meters. With primed reach at max, you'll be hitting about 26 meters. Very, very important. You want as much range as humanly possible. Berserker and Maiming Strike go together really well. Maiming Strike gives you a 90% chance to crit on slide attacks, which is very, very important. That will allow you to crit and consistently keep Berserker active, which allows you to slide more, which allows you to deal more damage. It's a very interesting combo. Maiming Strike is not a valid mod on a lot of weapons. Slide attack weapons are kind of rare, but the Telos Boltace, it was made for this mod. It was made for it. As far as the other 4 mods go, I was just using basic 90% elemental damage mods according to the faction that I was fighting. I also had Augur Strike on the Corpus build. It's the 120% puncture damage mod. It is viable on this weapon because the puncture damage for the Telos Boltace is so high. So you can kind of play with it and see how you want to build your weapon, and especially depending on the factions that you have or are going up against. Now, honestly, this weapon is just a lot of fun to use. Like I said before, it's not necessarily the most practical weapon I've ever used, because the spin attacks don't increase your combo counter. End game viable, I wouldn't really call this, but it does sort of break the meta of having nothing but blood rush and body count on, and this weapon, honestly, the base crit chance is too low for a body count blood rush build anyways. But it's just something different, and it's just something refreshing, and it's definitely the special effect, the special passive for this weapon is definitely the most unique and the most fun amongst all of the passives that I've seen in the Syndicate melees. This is a lot of fun. This will definitely change the way that you melee enemies while you use it. And I personally, I had a lot of fun with it. So go out there, trade for it, buy it, whatever you need to do. I highly recommend this. And I'm very glad after after my last review of the Telos Boltace and getting basically ripped out for that review, I'm glad that DE knocked this one out of the park and really enabled me to give this weapon praise, because I was not looking forward to having to repeat that situation. But thank you guys very much for coming. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Warframe videos coming very soon. I've been your host of the most, as always, Francois878, signing off.